What's good everyone, it's Zigzag here, welcome back to another Geoguessr video. Good to have you along on the channel today. And today I'm doing a world record attempt on AI generated world, which is my favorite map on Geoguessr. And we're going to be trying for this record here, which is solo, no car, no compass. The record sits at 56 countries in a row, which is obviously quite a lot, but compared to other world maps on similar settings, this is really not too many. Unlike most times, I'm going to be playing on no moving here. You guys know I love playing no moving, panning, or zooming, but really no moving is probably more important for the World Cup, and it's only a few days away. So let's get straight into things here. We're on a 0 streak, and we're starting off with a fairly hard location. I actually don't off the bat know where this is. It's a very typical AI generated world location where it's just very generic looking and you really aren't sure until you've looked at it quite a bit where you are. I can actually see 5 different countries working here. This is kind of concerning. I've just been playing Mexico all afternoon and I don't think it's there. I could definitely see Colombia working, but this would be very red soil for Colombia. Same thing with like Philippines or something. Like normally you don't see such red soil in Philippines. And of course we don't have the compass for the sun, so it makes life really tough. It is a fun little way to play without meta though, because, you know, obviously that does take the geographical knowledge side of things to be more important. So yeah, I'm actually not too sure here. I think Philippines and Colombia are my 2 main thoughts. The buildings in the background, you can't even really make out what type of architecture it is. And this is the way for the road here. You know what? It's probably just Brazil. It probably is. I'm looking at, but these patchworky hills feel quite Colombian. So I think it's actually Brazil or Colombia here. If I look at these hills, I'm thinking almost certainly Colombia. If I look at the soil, I'm thinking almost certainly, like this direction's very Brazil. Which is concerning, because maybe it is just Asia with this kind of weed here. Yeah, this is a very Asian looking weed. Yep, this is AI generated world, guys. You know, we take it. Take it as it comes, right? Okay. In all, I think it's actually Asia. Oh my gosh. What about this curb? It looks more South American. This was just a very difficult round. Fortunately, we're on 0, so we can just go. But I am mega confused. I don't think it's Colombia. I have to go Brazil here. I think all in all, I have to go. And it was Philippines. Very red soil there. Very difficult round. And yeah, just a fascinating one, to be honest with you. Okay, so let's try and avoid some of those. This one we're driving left. With the red brick buildings, I would assume this is the United Kingdom, because they're not too common in Ireland. And look at that, we have a yellow number plate there. Kind of got a south vibe here. I'll try Northampton. It was just outside of London there. Next one here should be somewhere in Malaysia. Let's take a look around here. So thin concrete poles, black and white signposts. I'll try and explain all my guesses as well for you guys. These lines on the road are very Malaysian, the yellow ones that are horizontal. Didn't actually work out what I think or where I think it is, but I would say probably somewhere on the mainland here. Terengganu works, I think. Actually, Negeri Sembilan there. Okay, next one here, North America. Almost certainly. We have a birch tree, so I think this is quite far north or somewhere in the Rockies or something like that. And looking at the number plates here. Okay, so these ones could certainly be British Columbian number plates. So let's take a look down the road here. I mean, everything seems to fit rather nicely for BC. I'm just trying to see if I can see any proper evidence, because this could still be somewhere in the Rockies in the United States. So, are we actually going to get any definitive clues here? This is the thing. The creator of the map, Roland Hill, has been very deceptive with the way he replaces the locations, where they have clues, but just not quite enough to be fully confident. Like no flags or anything like that, except for that one. Never mind. So with the US flag, I think we can safely go USA here. I'm wondering what these plates are with the yellow sticker, because they kind of looked quite similar to British Columbian ones, but I would say this is just Montana or, you know, Wyoming, even down to Colorado could work here, I think. And yeah, it was Colorado right in the mountains. That makes sense to me. So maybe those yellow stickers are a Colorado thing. Next one here should be a fairly easy Philippines, driving right side of the road, double concrete road like this, the concrete slabs. That is very Filipino, and I'm not quite sure where here. I don't think it's Bohol. I'll try Panay here. And it was actually all the way up north. Makes sense. So we're on 4. I mean, it could have gone worse after the first one. At least we are, you know, it's not easy to get countries in a row, so that's fine. It's a good result. And the next one here is looking like Brazil. Black backs of the signs here, very common in Brazil. White painted bottoms of the poles. I'm actually going to slow it down here. We're practicing for World Cups. So let's also try and get the right regions when we guess. Round poles is more common in the south of Brazil, definitely. These palms are probably more common, you know, further towards Paraguay. They're kind of shaggy looking palms. I would say that's what we're looking at there. And tree plantations, yeah, everything feels pretty good for southern Brazil here, but central southern. So I'd say Goiás, maybe Minas, Sao Paulo, that kind of thing. I'll try Goiás, southern Goiás here. And it was actually Sao Paulo indeed. That's a fine guess though. I mean, not the greatest, but we'll take it. Next one here. These, like the tiling on the roof here looks very Bulgarian, so that's what I'm immediately noticing about this one, kind of these terracotta roofs or whatever you want to call them. We have a very thick round pole here. Also fits rather nicely for Bulgaria, especially in comparison to Romania, where you tend to use more holy poles. So let's see, what year was this published? 2023? Okay, so I think Bulgaria does have some new coverage, so that would certainly fit. Landscape down there, it also looks Bulgarian. I guess I would have to worry about Greece if we had wooden poles, but fortunately these are concrete, so shouldn't be Greece. And all in all, it looks more Bulgarian anyway, so I think we are pretty happy to send here. It's 90% Bulgaria in my opinion, and indeed we were right there. That's a good guess. Okay, next one here. Looks like Canada immediately, but could be USA. So taking a look around here, yellow lines in the center. So now we just have to work it out. Which one is it more likely to be? This is one where the car would actually probably help quite a bit, so we're gonna have to use other methods here to work it out. These little poles here, would they be different in the US? I feel like this might be the Canadian variant of the electricity wires little thing that they have in the US. Yeah, poles are completely generic here, houses are generic. We have to go off vibes. I think Canada works slightly better here, but it could just be the Great Plains in the US. I'm just going to go for Canada because that's what I thought it was, but could be wrong. And it was nice in Alberta there. Not really too much to say. We just had to go for one, and I thought Canada was more likely, and it was correct. So next one here, we got wooden poles, yellow outer lines. Both of those things lead you to Southern Africa. This particular pole top could definitely be seen in South Africa or Eswatini. Now I'm looking around at the, we have some agave plants here. It's kind of interesting to me. I could actually see this one being in Eswatini, even though South Africa was my first thought here. We don't have the typical long grass, but the kind of vegetation here does definitely remind you of Eswatini, that's for sure. So now I'm looking at the number plates here. Yeah, there's really not too much to go off of, I must say. The pink road is interesting. Something you do see in South Africa, but it's not too common there. So if it was South Africa, generally speaking, you find it between Mokopane and Polokwane, so this kind of area. And indeed, the landscape fits for that, but it also fits for Eswatini. So all in all, just because I don't really recognize where this would be in Eswatini, especially because it's so flat, I think I'll go South Africa, but I'm not entirely certain, so we're just going to have to see here. Where is it going to be? Oh, where's Eswatini? Basically the flattest part of Eswatini right there. I'm surprised we couldn't see that ridge properly. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough there, but yeah, I mean, maybe that was not a particularly difficult round. I probably should have gotten it, but it is what it is. We move forward. You know, it's a hard round. It's a hard game. Next one here, 102 Canadian highways here. I think we'll just send it in Canada. It looked like New Brunswick to me. We could be Quebec. No, okay, that's good. So we would have been on around 8 or 9. Instead, we are on 1. Brazilian number plate here. Generally speaking, those ones are found in Brazil. Sometimes a phone number can really help out a bit. Doesn't seem like we have too much here, though. Yeah, we have some coconut palms, which is interesting. Would tend to make you a bit more coastal, I guess. So here we are. 82 is the area code. So that's a bit further north than I'd expected. So it goes 6, 7, 8. So we should be somewhere up here. 82. I wanted to say maybe Recife area. I don't really remember. Do we have the name of the city here? Maybe at some point, but I'm just going to go in Recife. What is it actually? Okay, it's actually in Alagoas there. That's fine. We're only one state over. Next one here. Immediately a bit of an Asian vibe with the corrugated iron roofs and the banana plants. Taking a look over this direction here. What do we have? This pole looks very Malaysian, which is not what I was expecting to see, to be honest. Malaysian, like they have the rounded top on the concrete poles a lot of the time. Yeah, but is it actually there? I suppose we almost have to be there with that pole. I'm just trying to think where else you could actually find that. They have very similar ones in Peru, but I don't think this is Peru, with this house especially. Okay, so let me be logical about it. The only other option is Indonesia with that pole. And maybe Indonesia is still more likely because it feels very poor in a way that you don't really see too often in Malaysia. So, especially because we don't have any black sticker on the pole. You do see that about half the time in Malaysia as well. So, definitely an interesting one. I think it's so lush that Indonesia is fitting better. And yeah, I don't really pick where in Indonesia this would be. Like in a tournament, I would be stressing right now. That's for sure. Although maybe all in all, like Sumatra's most likely, just because I thought Malaysia at first. So I might just go for that. Yeah, the thin road here. It's certainly interesting. Coconut palms as well. Yeah, it feels like a fine guess here. I'll go West Sumatra, but I'm really not sure. And it was actually in Malaysia. There you go. So yeah, this map is just difficult, guys. And you know, we'll have to deal with that. It's fine, but you know, I just can't be too mad when I lose. Very volcanic looking rock here. I think this might be in the Canaries. And I'm pretty sure when you see wine being grown, it's on these ones maybe. So I'm gonna go here. Would I be right about that? Nope. This one instead. I thought that was a vineyard, so I thought that was gonna be Eastern, but that's okay. Okay, next one here. Looks like Indonesian architecture this time to me. So pole top. Yes, I don't think the pole top would have been round at the top in Indonesia, actually, but this one I think is actually a North Sumatran pole top this time. I could be wrong, but I think it was. Oh, and it is nice, kind of symmetrical at the top, which is kind of rare in Indonesia. Like this one's a standard Indonesian pole top. Very nice example round to come for the next one. And these kind of wooden planks on the front of the roof here almost look a bit Sulawesi, but the amount of oil palms here I think would make me want to go back where we were last time, but this time maybe in Riau instead or something like that, because they tend to have this pole top much more often. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Let's just send it. Could be Jambi as well. Yeah, Jambi. I think that was a Jambi pole top indeed, but 20,000 points there. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Definitely a Southeast Asia heavy seed. We guessed Sumatra 3 times. Okay, next one here. It's looking, it almost looked Russian off the bat, didn't it? With this kind of black field. 2021 coverage as well. I'm feeling like Russia's pretty strong here, though I don't exactly know where it would be. That pole does not look like a Russian pole top. It looks American. So maybe this is actually just the US. It's certainly a strange US. I mean, the road is thick enough for the US, but the vegetation didn't really feel that way to me. Okay, so what else can we glean here? I don't really know. It doesn't feel like South America to me. I guess the only option there would be like Argentina, but no, I don't think Argentina fits. White signpost there. I think this is still Russia somehow. I think these poles are just very random for Russia though. But I do think so. Just the white signpost here and the black like fields, it just doesn't feel American. Yeah, it just doesn't feel American. I think that's the simple truth of it. It could be, because America is so huge. You do just get random rounds there that just blow your mind sometimes. But 2021 copyright plus the white signpost, I feel like I have to, it could be Canada too, actually, with the white signpost, but I think I have to go Russia here, crazily enough. I think the poll is very, very strange, so I'm kind of expecting to be wrong, but let's see what it actually is here. Oh yeah, California. So that is a very interesting round. Sacramento, goodness me. Well, yeah, the polls I guess shouldn't ever really be Russia there, but I was just convinced at that point. This is Kenya or Uganda. I think it's Kenya. Yeah, just a national park. Okay, we have rubber trees here, which is interesting. Bunch of oil palms as well. Some really interesting little fences. I don't really know which country is best here. I mean, Thailand is kind of the obvious choice, but I could definitely see myself going Cambodia or Indonesia here. But we're on one streak, so I'm just gonna pick one. And I think out of the 3, just with rubber trees, you should normally go Thailand. And it was actually Indonesia indeed. Southeast Sulawesi does have some plantations, so not entirely surprising. But yeah, you can see why the record remains so low, and I feel like ever since even more Generation 4 got released, this is just a harder and harder record to achieve. But okay, next one here. It should be Czechia with this landscape, I imagine. Could still be Slovakia, but I think it was Czechia. No, it was where I clicked. Whoops. Oh, well, at least we're losing them on low scores. That's fine with me. Okay, so let's really lock in here, because I feel like the Russia one I shouldn't have failed. Okay, this is Mexico. I've been practicing Mexico this afternoon, so let us try and cook up a good score here. Okay, so this kind of plant here, I think, may have been one of the ones you find in San Luis Potosi. I forget what it's called. But actually, the pole top here fits. The rest of the landscape fits, but I'm looking for a certain kind of tree called a tree yucca here, which, yeah, it seems like we may have some on the hills here. And for that reason, I think I'll just go for the guess here. Maybe a bit further north, like this kind of area, but we'll see. And it was that area. Very nice. Getting the state there in Mexico is always gratifying, because it's not an easy country. Okay, next one here. This is a Sulawesi pole top. It's kind of a metal tag at the bottom here. Lots of oil palms. I mean, coconut palms, so that makes perfect sense to me as well. And yeah, it gets me just kind of like a middle vibe here. This pole top is found in like this area of the country, but this feels quite lush. So somewhere down here, perhaps. Oh, it was all the way north. Still got the country. Next one here, flagpole immediately says Nordic. This architecture could be Swedish. I could see that. What about down the road here? Long dashes. Maybe this is Denmark, or I don't know. Maybe it's like a weird sign pole, flagpole elsewhere. Because I don't actually see what this would likely be in the Nordics. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like in Norway, we'd have yellow center lines. Not that it even really felt like Norway, to be fair. I don't know. Like it's definitely an interesting one. What are the flagpoles doing here, and what are these long dashes as well? That would. You know, long dashes is quite strong for France, United Kingdom. Is this the UK? I really didn't think so. I don't know why I didn't think so, though. We have a barbecue. Kind of feels British. The bins don't feel British. Neither do the houses, to be fair. Like, this is not a British house. I'm pretty sure of it. I think I have to go Sweden here. But just with very strange road lines. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, in all honesty. And this house, really, you'd only find that kind of looking house around Gothenburg. Or maybe down to, you know, this kind of coastal area here. So it's really not a whole lot of area that this can be. And the road lines feel wrong. So I'm a bit confused here, guys. I'm just going to send it in because I don't feel like thinking longer. And it was just Danish. Yeah, so Denmark does have those road lines. I mentioned that, I think. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't go there. This is just Israel somewhere. Oh, actually Jordan. Okay. Doesn't matter. We're on 0. Next one here should be Mexico again, I imagine. Very thick arrow here. That's Mexican. Oh man, this map is a bit demoralizing sometimes, you know. It really is just that difficult. Okay, so do we have anything here? I want to get the right state once again. See if we can go for a 2-state streak within Mexico. Big cacti here. Big, like, jutting hills. The road is fairly poor quality as well. This makes me think that it might be like a green section of Tamaulipas down south or in the mountains here. I'm kind of curious about why the soil is so like brown or pink for that reason. Like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for my guess here. But we do have mountains both sides of us, so I do feel like, you know, this kind of area here can work quite decently, or even just passing through the mountains like this. So I might just go for it here. Obviously we know it's Mexico anyway because of the arrow, so we're fine with that. And okay, it was the other side. I did consider that, but I thought the road quality looked a bit more like Tamaulipas. That's okay. 20,000 points there. Decent seed in terms of score, but of course we missed the country a few times. Okay, next one here. Interesting that it wasn't loading. This looks like Germany to me, though we see a Belgian number plate here, so we can send it in. Should I go to the German side? I guess so. If it looked like Germany, why not? It wasn't, though. Okay, next one here. Looks like Netherlands. This is a very easy Netherlands. I'm wondering indeed why it was included in the map. Because normally you can at least find some reason that it was difficult, but this one was just free. All the way down south, I guess that's why. Okay, next one here. Pinkish road is interesting. Should be Canada over the US for my mind. Looks like we have a front license plate there, which does throw a spanner in the works. And so we got some hanging poles here. In terms of where you find those, it can be a Manitoba thing. I'm actually leaning US now, though, just because I don't feel like I recognize them for Canada. And so, yeah, I might just send it in with a bit of US action here. This plant surely would help if you knew what it was. I should maybe hit up GeoNebula and ask, but yeah, I'll just hit it in the US here. And it was actually in Alberta, which is my very first thought. Now, I think I didn't want to go Alberta because we had a front plate there. Although maybe it was just kind of looking like a front plate when it actually wasn't. So we are struggling to even make it past 5 here, which is, I don't know if it's embarrassing or if it's just a testament to how hard this map is. But no, I think it is a bit embarrassing. I should be getting more. So let's lock in here once again. So it looks like we were driving. Well, you actually can't tell the driving side here, which is a bit concerning. I mean, it looks like left, right? But I think it's just parking spaces here that make it very difficult to tell. That's a sectioned pole, like a Portuguese or Spanish or French pole. I think the houses look more French than any of those, but they don't look, they're not typical French, that's for sure. So I would say, what is this? We have a big hill there, and we don't know the direction of the hill, by the way, so makes life a little bit tougher as well. I do think it's France overall, with the second possibility being Spain, I guess, but it has to be pretty south of that kind of mountain and this kind of landscape. So I'll go here. Where's it actually going to be? Oh, wow. Right on the border with Geneva there. That makes sense with the ridge. Happy to have gotten France though. Not an easy round. Next one here. We have a bit of a coconut palm. This is a Thai pole. And everything feels really Thai with the reddish kind of road. So I'm feeling good about this. Let's just send it in this direction maybe. Okay, it was all the way north there. Not too common to see a coconut palm there, but you certainly do see them. Next one here. What are we looking at? We have some Chile action here, I would say. Concrete pole instead of square. And I don't really know how far south it is, but we don't have the biggest mountains, so pick somewhere fairly flat. Los Angeles here, maybe Puerto Montt. Both of those areas work well. Just kind of halfway between that. It's fine. Next one here. We have a lot of Scots pines. Could this be Germany? The bollard looks maybe a bit Latvian to me. Very flat. And Scots pines makes perfect sense for Latvia. Generally speaking, Latvia would have a 2022 copyright. That is indeed what we have here, so feeling very good about Latvia here. And it is all the way up northwest. Next one here. Ooh, immediate like Chilean vibes, but it could be Canada as well. Okay, we don't see much that direction. This direction we see more American looking infrastructure, so I'd say this is Canada. Probably New Brunswick as well, if I had to guess, and it is. And you know what? When I say I do have, when I say if I had to guess, I always do. So that's what you, that's the joy of watching this channel, isn't it? Okay, round concrete poles here. Same kind of Bulgarian roofs potentially here that we had last time. But if I look this direction, they don't look that Bulgarian. But I still think with the round concrete pole, these kind of small hooks coming out of it, this is quite Bulgarian. So starting to build a streak once again here. That was on the Danube actually. Next one here is a single white line. Kind of looked French to me. France is normally so easy, but as soon as you get on NMPZ, I mean on No Car No Composite, it really does hamper you for some reason. I still do like France here, but the soil is deceptively kind of orange. The whole road is a bit orange. Let's check the copyright. Can't hurt on a mode like this. 2022, huh? I mean, certainly works for most places in Europe, so it's really not that useful when you have a year like that. These pines, yeah. So, okay. So, France is working decently. I don't think it's Italy. I could see Spain here, actually. Spain's a bit of a sleeper pick. Like, if it was Spain, though, I think it would be, like, somewhere near Barcelona. With these kind of pines. It feels quite warm, doesn't it? It would be southern France here, if we're correct about that. Yeah, okay, so Spain would be my second option. Can I see Italy? I just don't know if the road is really pale, which feels good for Italy. But I don't really know if the rest of the round looks that much like it. Man, if we could see that car. That looks like an Italian car. It's a French or Italian car. I'm really sure. Is it like a Fiat? Or is it a Citroen or what? I feel like it's a French car. I'm going to trust my gut here. Yeah, these are French road lines. What was I talking about? I didn't see those for so long. But yeah, this should be France, I believe. And it's not. Oh my gosh. Croatia. I thought of Croatia too, but I was never really feeling Croatia that much there. Well, that makes sense to be all the way as close as you can get to Italy. But wow. Oh my gosh. Very difficult map this. But we soldier on. I still need to get more practicing, more reps in on the world map. This can't hurt, guys. You know, the beautiful thing about practicing Geoguessr is the beautiful thing about practicing Geoguessr is every mistake is like making you much better than a success. I really believe that. And here we are back in Mexico. Let me get the state, right? Okay, so we have prickly pear cactuses. So that's, more so just found in the Central Valley. And we have these, which is the tree yucca, which I was talking about, very common in San Luis Potosi, but also just the whole northeast. So that kind of puts us around San Luis Potosi, potentially here. This pole top, I think, is pretty good for that area. The pole top's a bit fiddly compared to the vegetation, which is quite useful. These kind of agaves are also common, where I was talking about in SLP. So yeah, I think SLP is the play here. We have actually kind of big mountains to our west here, which yeah, you do see in this area. So I'm gonna try that. I think it should be correct. Oh, actually, well, we got the right country, but it's actually Coahuila there. So not the best guess, but yeah, always gonna be northeast with those tree yucca. Next one here is Indonesia. Now we have these kind of these crosses on the top of the roofs here, which is quite common in a few different places. It's really weird. Like it shows up quite a lot in West Sumatra. Then you also see it a lot in South Sula, and then in some places in Kalimantan. So it really, I mean, it's kind of useful, but kind of not. I think this looks like Kalimantan though. And if it's mountainous, let me think now. I think central is often pretty flat. So I think east. You go east maybe if it's mountainous. I'm not really sure though. Okay, just central indeed, but still a good score honestly. For Indo, that's good. Okay, driving right here, Czechoslovakia. This arrow sign looks more Czech, and indeed it looks very Western European here, so I would be guessing Western Czechia here most times. And it is Western Czechia, very German looking around there. Just the vibes of the whole thing, the kind of hedgerows and everything. This is surely, I was going to say surely Serbia. That looks like a Serbian bollard too. The round poles feel good. The only other option here is Croatia, and normally Croatia can be distinguished with the antenna, but we do not have such antenna today. The coverage is kind of autumnish. Now, that shows up in this region of Serbia here, like around here, Ub, maybe this kind of region, or maybe around Čečak, which is also something that shows up quite a lot in Croatia as well, so it's not that useful here. I think the landscape fits quite nicely for Czechia, and now I'm just trying to work out, if we could see a number plate here, that would be very useful. But there are no real cars available to us apart from this one, which, yes, it doesn't appear to have a blue strip, so that could lean us towards Croatia, but I think the fact that I got more Czech vibes, the roofs might feel a bit more Czech as well, so I think I will go for that. I'm going to be annoyed if this is Croatia, I can't lie to you guys, but let's just see where we are. And it was indeed in that region. That's at least something nice to come out of this this little slump. Next one here is USA, just with the southern pines and everything. And we'll take a look around just in case it could be Canada. But yeah, this is pretty southern to me. House is very southern as well, this darker brick. You know, it actually could be northern US, but I'm really sure that this is not Canada. So let's send in here. And it was North Carolina, yeah, kind of midway between everything there. But we were on 5. We had 2 nice Europe guesses there as well. This is Japan, driving left. Very Japanese infrastructure everywhere going on here. Now, can I get something here? That's a straight up pole top, which you see in certain different regions. Maybe this is a Kansai or something like that. You see that in the Kansai region quite a lot. Though I'm not really sure I trust it on this occasion. It definitely feels kind of warmer here with this kind of longer grass and very, yeah, it kind of doesn't feel like it snows too much. So I'll try this city here, Fukuoka, and it was actually in Kitakyushu. Okay, interesting. It was a Kyushu pole top there. This is Norway. Should be very south with these pine trees. Oh, didn't really look too far, to be fair. Okay, next one here is at Japan again. We have a short number plate here. So I would assume this is the United States. Well, it is Japan again. Okay, interesting. Just very... You couldn't really tell that it's low cam because we're on like a hill here. But the short plate does make sense as well. This kind of reminds me of like some places I went near Kyoto, but, you know, it's probably more likely to actually just be like on Shikoku if I had to actually make my full say, and it was actually just Tokyo instead. Very interesting. Okay, this one should be somewhere in Romania, the white painted pole bottom here. And, yeah, the houses look really good for that as well, I would say. So, yeah, let's just send it in here. And it was right outside of brush off there. Very nice guess, though I was pretty much just hedging. And the final one of the seed here should be somewhere in Mexico. 444 is the area code here. I think that's central. We have a lot of red brick buildings here as well, which is more commonly found west of Mexico City. So this could just be Mexico City itself, I think, as well. 444. I'm pretty sure Mexico City might have been 555, but I could be wrong about that. So I guess without any other further clues, I would be very tempted to go in Guadalajara here because they have a lot of that red brick buildings I was telling you guys about. And we have a lot of those here. So, but the vibes are kind of more Mexico City. I'm just going to see what it actually is. And it was actually SLP there. Interesting. So 444 for SLP City. And that was a decent score. We're on 10 for the first time in the video, I think. Those seeds were pretty free, so let's just hope we can keep up that momentum. This is going to be Senegal with the silver car here. Honestly, we just want to dodge Europe, and then we're mostly okay if we dodge a lot of Europe. That was all the way up in Richard Toll. Next one here. Looks like we haven't managed to dodge Europe here, but I feel like this is quite gettable. So, immediate vibes are like Russia or Latvia or something like that here. Russia's a bit difficult, though, because I don't really pick it where it would be in Russia. It appears... Do we have blue strips here? It appears like the script is almost written in blue, which is very confusing. That might be a blue strip. I feel like this is... Okay, 2021 copyright, though. That's very Russia, as opposed to Baltics, that's very Russia. So I would say this is indeed Russia. It just feels much better with that copyright. Honestly, this is one where copyright can really save you. The number plates also, we don't specifically see a blue strip. It's just that the car is blue, I think. That one looks like a Russian format plate. So yeah, I actually do think this is Russia. And if I had to guess, then maybe just Moscow, because it's a bit random Generation 4 coverage here. And it feels Western, and also feels quite northern with these trees being a bit thin. So maybe it is SPB as well. Might try SPB. I'm not really sure where it's actually going to be. It was SPB. Very nice guess there. Happy with that. Okay, that's good. Next one here, we have some kind of palms. It looks like southern Thailand, so let's read the language now. That should be somewhere in... Language there is going to be Indo or Malaysian, based on what I understand from the two languages, and the pole top here would be Malaysian, I believe, with that rounded one. This time we'll actually trust it properly. So it doesn't really look like Malaysia, it looks more like Indonesia, to be honest with you guys. But I think we can trust the pole top this time. So can we get anything else here? Yeah, that looks like it might be the remnants of a black sticker or something like that, which you find. The pole top's also Malaysian. Honestly, the longer I look at it, the more I like it. Even though it is a bit sus, and we don't see anything specifically Malaysian, I still think it's for the better that we guess there. Yeah, if it is Indonesia, that's a learning round, because I somehow can't remember seeing that in Indonesia, so maybe it exists, but I would say this is here. And is it? Oh, yes, it is. Excellent. I was kind of concerned there, I can't lie. Just outside of KL, though. Good score. We're on a good score so far. Next one here should be somewhere in Chile, but we're driving left. Yeah, that's actually going to be something in Spanish, and I mean, it looks like Canada, doesn't it? Surely this is not French, right? Could it ever be? It looks like Canada for some reason. Okay, well, these kind of look like Quebec, kind of traffic cones as well. That feels quite Quebec, that little mushroom there. So I would say this actually is Quebec. No front plates as well. Yeah, it is. Wow, very Chilean looking Quebec here. That's honestly a little bit surprising to me, but yeah, a bit of fireweed here as well. This is quite north, somewhere in Canada. I'll just go here, but it has to be Canada, right? Yeah, it is even further north. That makes sense. Okay, nice. Next one here, on 14 now. Actually on a respectable streak for once. And we can actually see the Google car here. It's white. You guys thought I was getting rid of the car, but no car, no compass doesn't count unless if you're looking in reflections, guys. I can tell you that. Would that be the Kampala car? Because the options here to me are Kampala, most likely, or somewhere in Ghana. We don't see any license plate here. This one has real plausible deniability, you know? This, I mean, well, look at the little baby there. So cute. It has plausible deniability. This could be Ghana. I really, the people, I really couldn't pick the people either, not on this occasion. What about the fashion though? Maybe the fashion's more, I mean, the layout of the town feels a bit Kenyan, so I could say Uganda feels better for that reason. I don't know why I think Uganda over Kenya either, but it's just the vibes, man. Yeah, this pole top, it does almost look a bit Ghana, and I could say that, but I think I'm pretty much decided on Uganda here. I think it's the most likely, so I'm just gonna have to go for it. Is it going to be correct? Oh, yes, it is. Excellent. Entebbe, yeah, Entebbe is probably the hardest part of Uganda to get, honestly, apart from the national parks. And we moved to 15 on a really good score there, and we could have gotten even closer. Oh, man, we could have had a really good score if I had tried harder on the Canada, because yeah, we only dropped 2,000 points in that whole game. But the next one here is going to be somewhere in Russia, I would say. This definitely looks like Russian language, right? Now, we have a lot of birches. This feels like it might be somewhere in eastern Russia to me. The kind of, oh, but it's a lot of pines as well. I don't know. This is definitely somewhat north. I could say that much. Look, we don't really have to worry too much here, do we? Like, it is Russia, so we're getting the country right regardless. And you know, in the tournament itself, we'll be able to see the Google car and everything, so it's a bit different. But I'll still try and get a nice score here. These trees are really tall. Maybe this is closer than I thought to Moscow. I'm kind of between, oddly enough, these are very far apart, but I'm kind of between like Novosibirsk area and like around Moscow. As I said, very, very different guesses. And the vibes, it's not easy. Like we don't really have too many cars going along here, so it makes it harder to determine what they kind of, is it more Asian cars or what? It does kind of feel like there are more Asian cars, but at the same time, I'm happy to just send Moscow here, I think. was actually going to be, ooh, so good. Also something I thought of, but again, that's okay. We'll see the red card when we're playing in the tournament. Ooh, okay. Why does it look like Russia again? This is not Russia because we have the old camera quality. Okay. So we have here some big double poles. I think Finland and Sweden came to mind here just because it feels quite northern. Lots of like birchish looking trees. I think Finland is quite strong here, and yet I don't see anything that I particularly like. The buildings, yeah, they probably feel more Finnish than Swedish, I could agree. But the whole round is a bit strange. The double poles, I'm not really sure what to make of that. Obviously we can't see the direction of the sun here, so yeah, definitely a tough Finland. And that is surely actually just clouds, not a ridge. But if it is a ridge, then it's clearly not Finland because that's too big. And generally speaking, this kind of winterish coverage is found more in the south, at least in camera generation 2. So, yeah, all in all, I think Finland is the play here. I would not, like, if it pops up as Sweden or Norway, I'm not going to be surprised. If that's a ridge, I'm going to be annoyed, but not surprised, I guess. I have to say, the longer I look at it, the more I am low-key worried that this is a proper ridge in the background here. It's just such a distinct, like, mass in the background. And I think if I was trusting the ridge, then I would be team Sweden. Looking over here, though, these buildings, they just don't feel particularly Swedish. The way none of them are red. Like, yeah, we have a red roof, but they're very blurry as well. But none of the buildings, that one maybe, but most of these buildings do not appear to be red. So I still feel like I'm team Sweden. I still feel like that is the case. Very curious about what this is. If it's not just some clouds, that is highly baity. I still see Sweden so much as well. It's really just a 50-50 here. I hope it's not Norway, because I think it's not. But I guess out of the two, I will send it in. Wow, can I make the switch? I'm now thinking this might be Sweden. I'm just really, like, conscious of this big ridge. It doesn't make sense for Finland, I think. If this is just the sky, that's so mean. But I feel like I have to go Sweden now. But the buildings, bro. I keep on coming back to the buildings. It just doesn't like compute in my head. This two combination. Am I missing something? It's not UK. I don't think it's Norway. I think, like, okay, what if we're like, say we were here, and we would see a ridge like that. It's possible, but it's a very consistently, it's a very consistent ridge in a way that I feel is strange. It's a bit further up, maybe. I don't know. I don't like it, guys. I don't. All in all, I have decided I will trust that this looks like Finland. Let's see what it is. It is Finland. Wow. What is that ridge? I do not know. I'm pretty sure that was the sky. In which case, wow. Like, how was it looking like that? I do not know. We survived. Yeah, it just was... The coverage just felt Finnish in a way that I couldn't describe. The trees and the houses too. And here we move forward to another killer round. This, I mean, it looks like Indonesia or Thailand. Probably Thailand with the rubber plantation, actually. Cambodia is well possible here. This pylon is interesting. I could even see potentially a little bit of Sri Lanka as an outside possibility here, but no, I think I would just go Thailand here. And if it's Cambodia, so be it. But I think it's Thailand, all in all. I guess one of the concerns here is that it's generation 3, which is more common, of course, in Cambodia than in Thailand. And we do seem to have a big ridge here, but not knowing the angle of the ridge means that it's pretty much useless to us because both countries have those. I really do see the Cambodia argument here as well, just because the soil is so red. I really do see both countries here, and I don't have a strong intuition. I think I'm just going to go with my first thought, which was Thailand. The longer I looked at it, the more and more I liked Cambodia, especially with one ridge here. I have a feeling this ridge could just be north, and we're looking here, but instead I'm going to go like that. And what are we going to be? Okay, well, it's just indeed Cambodia. And that was a ridge in the far east. That's where I would have guessed, I think, actually, because of the plantations being more common in this direction. But, alas, we end at 17, so a fair way away from the leaderboards. And that is going to be it for the video, guys. So thank you so much for watching the video all the way to the end. It was not perhaps my best ever performance, but it was good practice. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video all the way to the end, and get hyped for the World Cup. I'm literally leaving in 2 days. It's actually crazy. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Catch you later.